Hello, today is February 9th, and today's spread is all about the collision of elements. So today is the day that back in 1870 the U.S. Weather Service was established. So we are going to sort of take this as like a tempestuous spread, and we're going to go ahead and cast the cards, really looking to see what happens when you look up towards the sky to feel the earth, air, fire, and water collide and make the weather that we experience. So we're going to have 6 questions. They're going to be around flash fire, earthquake, tornado, tidal wave, lightning, and snowstorm. And then each one will have a question, and we will see what kind of information we get here for the general collective. I love these giant Rider-Waite, but they are tricky to shuffle. I don't know which way I like better. Oof, yeah, my hand's not that big. Let's just do one of these. Okay. Let's go ahead. And I think I'm just going to do all 6 and then read them that way. So let's go ahead and hold on. Oh, I had one fall and I didn't like the way it felt. Gosh, I'm being the most right now. Okay. All right. Now let's get started here. So we're going to do card 1, 2, 3. I think I'll do them right here like this. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. I'll put these here, and I'll have my smaller deck ready if for any reason we feel that we need to clarify anything. And so I can shuffle something smaller in my hand. Okay, so to kick this off, this will be number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the number 1, we have the first question is flash fire. Where is passion about to ignite? And the Knight of Wands here, really, this is a kind of cool card because when you think about fire, and this is a flash fire, first, it's right here underneath this solar plexus, sacral chakra energy, which is all about your passion and creativity and where that really like comes to fruition. And knights are typically messengers. They're definitely male energy. And so what passion, like where is passion about to ignite? This really represents someone, like, and I'm not trying to imply gender, but think about just, this is like a hot offer or hot proposition is about to come your way. So if you're in a relationship, maybe you just started seeing somebody, so this would be like that person just really coming like, hey, let's go out of town for a weekend, and like, you know, taking it to that next level. Or maybe if you're in if you just started dating somebody, this could really mean like them coming to you about, you know, going away with them, you know, for the weekend. If that's like the next step that you have sort of been waiting around for. If you're already in an established relationship, this could be your partner wanting to, you know, ignite some passion back into your relationship, especially if you've been maybe a little more stagnant, you know, just being more, you know, in this sort of lockdown quarantine kind of energy. And so this would really mean, it's really like them trying to spice it up for you and say, let's go out of town, let's go do something, you know, that's maybe a little that's out of the ordinary, out of the routine. So that is what's coming in this flash fire way. Passion is going to ignite in your personal life. Now, for others of you, if this is not, you know, your situation where you're not in an established relationship or you're not seeing anybody, then passion is going to ignite in this area. So something's about to, you're gonna be hit with like a lightning bolt feeling with a new idea, a new creative idea, new creative endeavor, and it's really, you're gonna just feel it. Like that night is gonna hit, like that message is just gonna come through. I know this is not saying lightning, this is saying flash fire, but it's going to feel like that. Like when you get that, it's gonna feel like something just lit up inside of you with this very clear message of what it is that this creative endeavor, this new project, it's really gonna be, you know, when people say your passion project, maybe like you just haven't thought about something for a while, and so this is just gonna really come through really fast and quick, and it's gonna come from that place where you're gonna be somewhere, you're gonna hear somebody talking about something, somebody's just gonna really, it's going to connect that. It's like a synchronicity, like a message is just going to fall into place, and you're going to feel like almost like butterflies in your stomach. And it's going to be like that same feeling in like your counterparts are in relationships. Like you're going to get that feeling, but for something work related, that is really like waking up the passion into, you know, to what you've been doing. Like if your work has gotten maybe just a little like mundane, and so that's really where this Knight of Wands is really coming in, you know, really quickly and just igniting a passion in you. So for those of you in relationships, start packing your bag and planning where to go. If for those of you that are sort of in a newer relationship, it's about to get hot and the next, you know, and taking it to the next step. And for those of you that, you know, this is career work related, be prepared to have that same sort of bolt of, you know, butterflies and giggles and excitement when you're like connecting. It's like, you know, if you're writing something, it's like all of a sudden just being hit with like the whole story unfolds in your mind, and now you know exactly, you know, what you're gonna write. If you're, you know, somebody that decorates or cooks, or, you know, if you're an architect, like whatever it is, you've been sort of maybe in a little bit of a rut, and this is just gonna come through, and it's gonna be, you're gonna just see it, you're gonna hear it, you're gonna feel it, and it's all gonna come together. In this number 2 spot here, you have Earthquake. What should I destroy and rebuild? What's really interesting is that for fire, it was about passion, and wands really represent that energy. And Earthquake, which is like earth, really represented through pentacle energy. And so, and you have the 4 of Pentacles here. So what you should destroy and rebuild is, so the 4 of Pentacles, and when you look at this is a traditional Rider-Waite too. So we look at the symbolisms, and then there's like definitions to each card, and then there's like intuitive reading where you just read from like, what do you feel in regards to these questions in this spread. So the 4 of Pentacles, here's this person, they're standing on top of 2 coins. They're holding a coin in their hand really tightly, and there's a coin on their head. And so the representation there, and then they're standing like in a gray background, which is very neutral in terms of emotion. And they're sort of standing in like almost like a throne-like seat in front of like the backdrop is a city. So we think about rebuilding and destroying. This 4 of Pentacles, like this person is holding on for dear life, like to this one coin, but they're surrounded by coins. So it does have like a definition of somebody that like when you have that energy that you don't want to lose anything, any material possession, and so you really hold on to your coin. But it can be, there's like a protective energy of wanting to hold on to what's yours, and then there's like a fine line between that and the energy of just never wanting to let go of anything. So, you know, the person that doesn't want to offer to pay for something, or the, you know, like you don't, there's, you know, you've been saving your money, you've got money saved up, you've got it, but you're still like, no, I can't, like you just are, you don't want to like go out into the city and venture for any reason. You just want to like hold on to your money because you're, you know, almost like it could be like a paranoid type of energy. However, 4s also represent like like a happy home life, you know, and a real balanced type of home life. So a 4 of Pentacles in this position of Earthquake, like what should you destroy and rebuild? It's really about you tearing down that fear that you have about losing any material possession, and really rebuilding from a place of knowing. So really, you know, rooting and grounding yourself to this earth energy of the pentacles that you're already embodying and that you possess, and being just really sure of that. So when you rebuild, like the city behind you here, you're rebuilding, and you can use all of your coins to like rebuild like your, you know, four wall sort of structure, right? And you can rebuild that way, and no roof, no blocking it, just your four sides. And so that you're free to grow from the root, like those roots to really extend themselves and take root, right? For that to happen. And from the top, like no roof, so you're just free to grow as tall as any of those buildings behind you. So in regards to like this earthquake feeling, you know, let go, tear down this notion of having to hold on to these four coins, because you do embody that earth energy, that holding on to your material, but also having that abundance and that access to more coin. So instead, take your four coins, like I said, build a four wall structure so that the bottom is free to grow and grow and grow and really set root, and the top is free to grow and blossom into everything. So that's what you're tearing down and what you're rebuilding. In this third spot, we have tornado. What negative thinking should I sweep away? And it's the Four of Swords. Again, this is so trippy to me, like how now this is a thinking, it's a thinking question, and we got a swords card, which are all mental body, right? And it's under this throat chakra, which is about more speaking, you know, you're speaking those thoughts. So what negative thoughts should be swept away? This is really indicative of you taking time to maybe not just meditate, but to be honest. Like, you know what negative thoughts you have. And so when you're alone, quiet, when you're the only one in the room and you're only with your thoughts and you know what's going on in your mind, like, you know what negative thinking creeps in. And so you've spent enough time by yourself in, you know you enough that you know what those thoughts are. Now, I can't tell you what they are, but I can tell you that they're the thoughts that only you know. So for example, if you're, you know, if you have a social group, if you have a family, like what happens is that maybe in front of your family or your close friends or whoever it is, you might, I don't know about complain, but maybe so like a negative thought, like maybe in front of people, you might say, oh, you know, I'm really like thinking of this energy. You could be like, oh, I'm really concerned that I'm not, you know, saving enough money. Maybe I don't have something in case, you know, of a rainy day. Maybe I don't have as much money as I'd like to save. You know, I feel really stagnant in my work, and I just feel like I'm not moving forward, and that really like affects me because I'm not sure, you know, if I'm doing enough to maybe get more money at work, or am I, you know, so like you're thinking of these sorts of energies. It's what you're presenting maybe out loud in social settings, right? Or over dinner with your family. However it is, you'll express these thoughts, but they're superficial. So in front of people, you might put out some negative thinking about your position, your work, your whatever it is. It could even be your appearance, your health, anything. And so you say those things in social groups, like when to others, I should say, when other people can hear you, right? You say these, maybe you have some negative thoughts, and then maybe the people that are around you and listening to you are like, no, like you're great. You don't have to worry about that. That's one scenario. What this is saying is this Four of Swords represents that the negative thinking that you need to start sweeping away, and you need to start clearing out of your mind, is are the thoughts, not the ones that you spew out in front of people, but the ones that only you have when you're by yourself. So maybe, I mean, I don't know, like they could be completely the opposite of this energy. So maybe if you stay in front of in front of people, oh yeah, you know, I'm really tired with work, or I'm complaining about this, or I wish I had that. But maybe that's not even, like maybe that is a concern, but maybe you have a really like a true worry over the health of someone in your family or yourself, or maybe you really are worried about, you know, I just got this like a vision of like, you know, you need a new car, but you really can't think about that right now or something. And so like there is a worry, but it's not something that you're presenting. It's something that only you know when, you know, when you're sleeping, maybe you're having like dreams or nightmares really about something that's really preoccupying your mind that you only really even think about when you're, like I said, maybe it comes up in meditation, maybe it's when you're all by your, you know, when you're home alone and you're hanging out, whatever, when you're asleep, like that's when those thoughts come in. And so those are the thoughts that only you know, and that you need to really focus on clearing out of your space. Because imagine if you're compounding that with these really inner feelings that you're having, they're not in the most positive light. And then to add to that, you have a whole other narrative which you speak in front of other people. So now it's like double compounding negative energy into your space. So yeah, that's a big one. I'm definitely getting like this really heavy energy about what's really going on in your thoughts, the things that you really do worry about and think about and contemplate. And they can be really big. Like they can be, I'm getting this sense like they're global. You know, maybe you're really worried about the climate change and you're not taking it lightly, but you feel like everybody around you is, you know, or something that's bigger than your day to day. And so you don't share it. But it's definitely like what's interrupting your rest. So you do need to acknowledge that, and that's as far as the message is going. You know, let me see, as I'm shuffling these cards a billion times, let's see if we can get a little more clarity on what it is that this negative thought is. Oh, okay, we got the 9 of Cups. Okay, so, all right. The 9 of Cups is like ultimate wish fulfillment. It's like your dreams coming true. And so this negative thinking that you need to sweep away that comes to you like in your most times of rest or whatnot, it's these thoughts of scarcity, of not having enough, of not being able to achieve all of this. So what you're being told or you're being reminded is that we all have access to tap into an unlimited amount of abundance. But we have to clear the negative thinking, right? And so what this tells me here is that when you are in your dreams, or maybe it is a nightmare, or when you're meditating, whenever you're just in your own thoughts, you start to pick apart like, I'll never have this. I thought by this age I would have that, or I have this great thing, but I wanted more. Like, how do some people have all of these things and I don't? You know, why don't I have like the perfect relationship or the great, you know, family relationships or a ton of friends, or if you have too many, why don't I just have one? Like whatever it is, you're bringing in that self-doubt and, you know, sort of questioning where you are. And so, and what that's really about is you doubting that you can get to this 9 of Cups and have everything you want. And so you're bringing in some, and it's interesting that it's under this throat chakra orgonite, because it really symbolizes how you use your words. And so in your thoughts, your words can get really negative towards yourself. Like you're really bordering on taking it to another level when it comes to self-deprecation. And so you need to watch out for that, because what the negative thought is then doing is creating this block between you and that 9 of Cups. That's the ultimate achievement of all of your dreams and having all your wishes come true. So by having these negative, you know, by being in this negative energy that's affecting your sleep and, you know, that, and just that effect that it's having on you physically in your thoughts, just preoccupying them, all it's coming down to is you putting up blocks to why you haven't achieved all of your wishes. And what you're being guided to do is, instead, when you're in this position of rest, when you're in that space, instead of thinking about what you don't have, that you're longing for something that you feel you haven't achieved, you should start to take like account for what you do have, and like really think about, you know, being in gratitude for what you have, the smallest little thing, like being happy over it, instead of thinking about like the bigger thing that you don't have yet. And so that's really what's gonna, you know, in this tornado, it's like a tornado, imagine just like taking over your thoughts like so much. And then, you know, really then you're the one that's causing some of these blockages that between clearing these out, it's like a direct path to this 9 of Cups. And not clearing that out is you just laying there just fixating over how you can get there. Okay. In this fourth spot here, we have tidal wave. What emotion do I need to experience? It's interesting. So you have the world. And, you know, the world card, you know, like really, okay, so the world card kind of represents like this manifestation of all the elements in your life, right? So like there's creatures in each corner, right? We have like a lion, there's lion and fire, right? There's like the bull and earth, and then there's a cherub and cups, and an eagle and air. And, you know, the elements like are also representative of like the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac, which is Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. And then they point to 4 seasons, right? Like the 4 compass points. There's just 4 corners of the universe. There's a lot of symbolism and representation in the world card when it comes to these elements that we're looking at in this spread and how they come together to collide. And then they form these, you know, these weather anomalies, right? Like when an earthquake happens, a flash fire, a tornado. And so this is a tidal wave. And then, you know, symbolically, when we think about you have a 4 of pentacles, you have a 4 of swords. And then now we have like the world and all of the representations. So what emotion do you need to experience? I'm really getting a sensation that because of this energy that was up here about what you should destroy and rebuild, there's been this focus, this neutrality. There's a lot of gray here. There's a lot of gray in this 4 of swords as well. And that's really neutral. There's no emotion attached to neutrality. And in both of these, in these 4 cards, like, I mean, number 4, there's holding on to the material. And this is being overtaken by thoughts, right? And for this card in particular, it was like negative thoughts. And this is, you know, what do you need to destroy to then rebuild? And we got this clarifier of this 9 of cups. So there is this wish fulfillment. There's a desire there that this fire can ignite to maybe help us get here. But these 2 energies are so void of emotion and so focused on like stuck in your head and holding on to a material, a tangible, that this tidal wave is saying that you need to start experiencing emotion. Like in order to destroy, to rebuild, you need to feel that what does that fear of loss of something tangible, what does it feel like to feel unrooted or not stable or being in flux and not knowing, well, what happens if I do try to build the 4-wall house and it collapses, and that's scary? What is that feeling? You know, that feeling when you're stuck in your negative thoughts, you know, overthinking what it is that you haven't done, that you've wanted, comparing yourself to others, seeing this, you know, 9 of cups, like way out in the distance of something that's nowhere near you. You know, while you're stuck in those thoughts, instead of feeling that emotion of what that, maybe it's going to evoke like a good cry or a scream or like whatever emotion you have to feel. Instead, you're just, you know, you're just in your head and moving away from that and not really like taking seat in your center, like not fully aligning all of your energy so that you can feel what you need to feel when, so that you'll be able to recognize when the night shows up to ignite that fire in your belly, in your pelvic bowl. You know, when you feel that excitement, you may not even notice it if the message is coming in because you've been in such a neutral state of focusing, you know, of being really stuck in your thoughts and, you know, really feeling like you only have these 4 coins. And what if that's it? You know, what if that's all you're going to get and you're not going to ever achieve building, you know, your city? You know, what if, you know, like just sitting here going over and over that, you never get out of that and you don't have like just a peaceful rest because it's so void of anything. And so this tidal wave with this world is really saying like to be able to receive this, you know, burst of, you know, passion and ignite that within you, that creativity, to be able to destroy what, you know, these thoughts and move these negative thoughts away and rebuild from a really solid foundation that's going to allow you to blossom into this 9 of cups. What you need to do is feel what you need to feel and really be in your feels, be in your emotions. You know, the next card is lightning. You know, what is a good idea I should take action on? And it really is just almost, it's clarifying this World Cup with the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is, you know, she is the queen of compassion and empathy and nurturing and loving and really having like an endless amount of love. And look, she's aligned right underneath the heart chakra. She is the full embodiment of love and just, you know, she has her cup and she's looking over her kingdom, and she is there. She's not just there to give love. She's there to listen. She's compassionate. She's not, you know, judgmental. She's very just functioning from her heart space. So as a lightning bolt, that would be a great idea to take action on, to take a page from the Queen of Cups and let that be the lightning that shakes you from your heart center to awaken and really awaken all of these emotions so you can kick out of this neutral state and then really be ready to receive this ignited passion for whether it's a partner, you know, or a new idea to rebuild, right? Is it, you know, giving new life to a relationship? Is it rebuilding, you know, something that's been a little fractured within that relationship, whether it's with a family member, a friend, a partner? Is it, you know, how do we rebuild from, you know, for your career? Like, what needs to be shaken up? What needs to be, you know, swept out of these like stuck in your head thoughts, and instead, you know, replace these negative thoughts with the thoughts of all the things that, you know, that you've been wishing, but not from a longing, but from a knowing position. I'm not longing for something I don't have, but instead knowing that you can rebuild at any time. We're like a decision away that will change everything we're doing. So you can rebuild from here. Earthquake this shit, right? Where you shake it up and you're rebuilding. And this time you're not rebuilding stuck in your thoughts over what you may not have accomplished or what you don't have, but instead you're rebuilding with the knowing that you can have everything that you wish for and you desire. But that happens when you're allowing yourself to not be so stagnant and so void of emotion because you've just set into like a mundane way of being where, you know, you're just like on autopilot and you're not, you know, you're not fully awake and living in your present moment. So you may miss this fire, this message, if you're not acknowledging and even able to receive emotion. And this Queen of Cups, as far as an action in the lightning position, is perfect. It's let's take that Queen of Cups energy and let her be that bolt of lightning that really ignite, you know, sparks through your heart to awaken it and have that lightning energy just whoosh, light up all of the, you know, all of your chakras to align you from that heart space that she represents. And then with that, feel all you need to feel. I mean, as far as weather, right, that would be great. You do this lightning and it shifts into, you know, you go right into the tidal wave, a tornado, an earthquake, the fire. And our final one here is the snowstorm. What cultivates a sense of peace and stillness within you? And that is that all of this, you know, can happen and it works, and this is where you're at, and this is the change, right? What needs to happen, this sort of snowstorm that will cultivate that sense of peace and stillness within you, is knowing that it's time to leave behind practices and just behaviors that are not serving you, to be able to be your best self, right? To be this 9 of Cups, you know, in order for you to get there, like, you need to, you know, when this awakens and when you're really moving from your heart space, what will inevitably take place is that you will leave this negative thinking behind. You'll leave this gray behind so that you can fully come into this solar plex energy, this really clear with your words, you know, grounded, rooted into who you are, able to speak your truth from a place of your heart. And when you do that, then you leave behind all of this gray, neutral, you know, void of emotion space, and instead you can embrace all of this, and from a very heart centered position. So that is, I'm going to stop right there, and I will be back tomorrow.